Boeing 737 is more than just an aircraft. It's an aviation icon that has transported billions of passengers since its first flight in the 1960s. However, the latest model in this storied lineage, the 737 MAX, carries a reputation marked by innovation as well as tragedy. Two catastrophic crashes in late 2018 and early 2019 sent shockwaves through the aviation world, grounding the 737 MAX globally and shaking public interest in Boeing. These incidents didn't just raise questions about a single aircraft, they sparked debates about corporate ethics, regulatory oversight, and the cost of innovation. Can the 737 MAX reclaim its position as the pinnacle of efficiency and reliability, or will it remain overshadowed by its troubled history? This part unpacks the origins of 737 MAX, its role in the fierce competition between Boeing and Airbus, and the sequence of events that led to its grounding. The birth of a legend, Boeing 737's legacy. The Boeing 737 began its journey in 1968, aiming to revolutionize short-haul travel. Designed to be smaller and more efficient than Boeing's previous models, it quickly became a favorite for airlines. Its adaptability allowed it to evolve over decades, transitioning from the early 737-100 and -200 to the advanced Next Generation series. By the early 2000s, the 737 had achieved unparalleled success, becoming the world's most sold commercial aircraft. What made the 737 stand out was its ability to balance cost efficiency with operational simplicity. Airlines found it economical, passengers found it comfortable, and pilots praised its straightforward handling. The aircraft's modular design made it easier for airlines to update their fleets without retraining pilots extensively, a factor that later played a key role in the 737 MAX's troubled development. The MAX enters the scene. The story of the 737 MAX begins in 2011 when Airbus unveiled the A320neo, a competitor promising better fuel efficiency and reduced operational costs. The Airbus announcement was a wake-up call for Boeing, whose aging 737NG was no longer the most efficient option on the market. To regain its competitive edge, Boeing needed a response, and fast. The 737 MAX was Boeing's answer. Its centerpiece was the CFM LEAP 1B engine, a marvel of engineering that promised a 15% improvement in fuel efficiency. Combined with aerodynamic improvements like split-tip winglets, the MAX was advertised as a game-changer for airlines seeking cost savings. However, to maintain its advantage, Boeing made a critical decision. The MAX would retain the same type of rating as its predecessor. This meant pilots trained on older 737 models wouldn't require extensive retraining to operate the MAX, a selling point for conscious airlines. While this decision made the MAX attractive to customers, it sowed the seeds of future problems. The crashes, Lion Air and Ethiopian Airlines. Optimism around the 737 MAX turned to horror when Lion Air Flight 610 crashed in October 2018, killing all 189 people on board. Less than 5 months later, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 suffered a similar fate, claiming 157 lives. Both crashes occurred shortly after takeoff, and in both cases, investigators identified a common culprit: the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. MCAS was a software feature designed to counteract the aerodynamic challenges introduced by the MAX's larger engines, which altered the plane's center of gravity. If the system detected an abnormal angle of attack, it would automatically push the nose of the plane downward. However, flawed sensor data and insufficient pilot training turned MCAS into a deadly flaw. Pilots were often unaware of the system's existence, let alone how to disable it in an emergency. Global grounding and Boeing's reckoning. Following the Ethiopian Airlines crash, aviation authorities worldwide grounded the 737 MAX, marking the longest grounding of a commercial aircraft in history. Public confidence in Boeing plummeted, and the company's internal processes came under intense scrutiny. Investigations revealed troubling details. Internal emails suggested Boeing employees had concerns about the MAX's safety but were pressured to meet deadlines. The company's focus on speed, driven by competition with Airbus, seemed to overshadow its commitment to safety. The FAA, too, faced criticism for delegating much of the MAX's certification process to Boeing itself. Boeing's efforts to rebuild trust. In the wake of the crashes, Boeing launched a comprehensive effort to address the MAX's flaws. The MCAS system was redesigned to rely on inputs from multiple sensors, reducing the risk of malfunction. New pilot training protocols were introduced to ensure that crews understood the system and could respond effectively in emergencies. After rigorous testing and recertification by regulators worldwide, the 737 MAX was cleared to return to service in the late 2020. While these measures marked significant progress, the road to rebuilding trust was far from over. Airlines hesitated to place new orders, passengers expressed fears about flying on the MAX, and Boeing faced billions of dollars in legal settlements and compensation claims. The road to certification. Recertifying the 737 MAX required Boeing to address not just technical flaws but also systemic lapses in oversight. The redesign of the MCAS system was at the heart of the effort. The updated system now relied on data from 2 angle of attack sensors rather than 1, reducing the likelihood of erroneous activations. Additionally, MCAS could no longer trigger repeatedly without pilot intervention, addressing one of the key factors in the crashes. Beyond technical fixes, Boeing revamped pilot training programs, a move long demanded by aviation experts. Training now included simulator sessions focused on recognizing and managing MCAS-related issues. Regulatory agencies such as the FAA and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency conducted independent evaluations, insisting on rigorous testing protocols before clearing the MAX for flight. By late 2020, the 737 MAX began returning to service in key markets like the US, Canada, and Brazil. However, approval processes in some regions, such as China, took longer, reflecting heightened regulatory scrutiny. Airline adoption, hesitation, and acceptance. Airlines were initially cautious about reintroducing the 737 MAX into their fleets. High-profile carriers such as American Airlines and Southwest Airlines, 2 of Boeing's largest customers, conducted extensive internal reviews before putting the plane back into service. They also made significant efforts to reassure passengers, offering transparent communication about safety upgrades and allowing flexibility in rebooking. In markets where the MAX returned to service, its operational performance began to win over skeptics. Airlines appreciated the fuel efficiency that had originally made the plane appealing, especially as they sought to recover from the financial strain of the COVID-19 pandemic. In some cases, the MAX's efficiency became a competitive advantage, enabling cost savings on long-haul and short-haul routes alike. Passenger perception, a long road to confidence. For passengers, the return of the 737 MAX was met with mixed reactions. Surveys conducted in the early months of the MAX's return revealed lingering concerns about safety. Some passengers actively avoided booking flights on the MAX, while others demanded greater transparency from airlines about the aircraft they would be flying. To counteract public mistrust, airlines and Boeing invested in outreach campaigns. Videos showcasing the redesigned systems, testimonials from pilots, and endorsements from regulators were prominently featured in media campaigns. Over time, positive experiences from passengers flying on the MAX contributed to the gradual restoration of confidence. Competing in a changing aviation landscape. As the MAX re-entered service, it faced an aviation industry that had transformed during its grounding. The COVID-19 pandemic reshaped travel patterns with reduced demand for international travel and increased focus on domestic and regional flights. This shift worked in favor of a single-aisle jet like the 737 MAX, which are optimized for shorter routes. However, competition from Airbus remained fierce. The A320neo, which had outpaced the MAX in orders during its grounding, continued to dominate the market. Airbus capitalized on Boeing's struggles by promoting its safety record and expanding production capacity. Boeing responded by ramping up production of the MAX and securing new orders, including deals with major carriers like Ryanair and Alaska Airlines. Additionally, Boeing introduced new variants such as the 737 MAX 10, designed to compete directly with the A321neo in the higher capacity segment. Regulatory oversight, a new era of accountability. The MAX crisis prompted a broader reckoning in the aviation industry about regulatory oversight. The FAA faced intense criticism for its role in certifying the original 737 MAX, leading to significant reforms. Under new legislation, the FAA increased its authority over certification processes and reduced its reliance on manufacturer-led evaluations. For Boeing, these changes meant more stringent scrutiny for all future aircraft. While this added pressure, it also offered an opportunity to rebuild trust by demonstrating a renewed commitment to safety and transparency. ongoing legal and financial fallout. Despite its return to service, the 737 MAX continued to be a financial burden for Boeing. The company faced billions of dollars in legal settlements, compensation claims from airlines, and production delays. By 2021, the total cost of the MAX crisis was estimated to exceed $20 billion, including lost revenue and penalties. Boeing also dealt with lawsuits from victims' families, many of whom accused the company of prioritizing profits over safety. These legal battles kept the MAX's troubled history in the public eye, complicating efforts to move forward. The Boeing 737 MAX's journey is a story of innovation, tragedy, and resilience, reflecting the complex balance between technological advancement and safety. While Boeing has made significant strides in regaining trust, the legacy of the MAX serves as a reminder of the aviation industry's responsibility to prioritize lives above all else. What do you think about the future of the 737 MAX? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth stories from the world of aviation. Thanks for watching.